Hi students, I am Miss McKenzie and I'm going to be your teacher this year. On June 20th, I had this little guy here, Bennett McKenzie, and I am on maternity leave, so I will not be in the classroom until Monday, October 29th. So while I am gone, Miss Tyndall is your substitute. So I wanted you to meet him, and I'm going to hand him off, and we're going to talk about some things in the syllabus. That's Mr. McKenzie. Okay, so some things that I wanted to talk to you about is just some classroom rules and strategies. So in the syllabus, when you go over that with Miss Tyndall, you're going to see Professional Dress Wednesday. I've decided that we're not going to start Professional Dress Wednesday until the Wednesday that I return. So that is going to be October 31st, which is Halloween. So let's not do that. So it'll be November 7th will be our first Professional Dress Wednesday in the class. So if you read in the syllabus, that means you have to dress professional or business casual. I follow the DECA guidelines for business casual or business professional. So you want to make sure that you have some clothes ready to go. And giving you 2 months notice, you should be able to buy an outfit. That way you have it. Professional Dress Wednesday is something that's recorded for points as an assignment that'll go in when I return. All right, the next thing that I want to talk to you about is DECA. So I am going to be participating in DECA this year with Miss Lundgren as a coach. So Miss Lundgren is the advisor of DECA. I am going to be just a DECA coach, but my business BMA students and digital multimedia students, I encourage you to join DECA. The first due date for your dues or for the permission slips that you have to turn in to join DECA, Miss Tyndall's going to give you a packet of those. You will have to turn those directly into Miss Lundgren at Taylor High School. But when I return, I will pick your categories with you and the event that you'll be competing in, and I will help prepare you for those competitions, and DECA will be something that I do with Miss Lundgren this year. So we have DECA districts coming up in January, so we have lots of time to think about it, but you will have to decide whether or not you want to join that club, again, before I return. So look at those due dates in the packet that Miss Tyndall is going to give you, and make sure that you turn that into Miss Lundgren if you would like to join DECA. It is a lot of fun. You get to travel, you get to make friends and compete in the business area, and I can help you with that, and hopefully we'll go far and make it to nationals or internationals. Okay, the next thing I'd like to talk to you about is Edmodo. So I'm going to be sharing Edmodo as a teacher with Miss Tyndall. So some assignments I'm going to be grading from home, and some assignments Miss Tyndall's going to be grading. So if you ever need to reach out with me, I don't want you to feel that, I'm not your teacher, because I am. So if you ever need to get a hold of me, you can send a message in Edmodo or attach a message with the assignment, or you can send me an email. My email is located in the syllabus. Whether it's you asking a question about an assignment or about something going on in class, or DECA, or maybe it's your parents asking those questions. Yes, I'm on maternity leave, but I'm not leaving you for good. I will be coming back, and I still want to be active in communication if you have any questions. So Edmodo and email are two ways that you can get a hold of me. Now, when it comes to the Career Center, there are certain guidelines that we have to follow here, that all Career Center classes have to follow, whether you're in welding or you're in construction. Some of those are Newsella and Key Train. So if you've taken a Career Center class before, you know that Newsella and Key Train are a weekly event that you have to participate in. So it's focused on reading and math, and I like to work Newsella and Key Train into my lesson plans on Friday, and Miss Tyndall will do the same with you. Every time Miss Tyndall gives you a Newsella assignment, you'll have to log into that account, and you will have to read an article and take a 4-question quiz on that article. Now, once you take so many quizzes in Newsella, it's going to give you a reading score. So I'm going to be looking at whether or not you're reading at grade level. So If you're in 12th grade, I expect that you're reading at a 12th grade reading level. If you're in 11th grade, I expect that you're reading at an 11th grade reading level. And if you're reading below those grade levels, we're going to have some interventions to get you up to the level that you should be at. So that is Newsela. KeyTrain is something that we're going to be working with in math. Your assignment in KeyTrain, once Ms. Tyndall gives you the logins for those, we will spend every Friday working on KeyTrain, and you have to advance 2 math levels by the end of first semester, and you have to gain an additional 2 math levels by the end of second semester. So that's going to be 4. Now, there's only 7 levels in KeyTrain. So if you test that pretest at a level 6, then you only have to pass 2 levels, and I will be giving you an alternate assignment once you have passed all 7. So it is a little situational depending on how good you are at math or where you score in that pretest. But again, that's going to be something that is graded along with Newsela, and we have to show advancement. So you are advancing in math and you are advancing in reading, and we do that using the Newsela and KeyTrain platforms. This is not something that I have decided. It's something that the Career Center does as a whole, and there's really no way to get around it. So the better we do at this first semester, and when I come in that last week of October, that first week of November, depending on where you guys at, dictates how much time we still have to spend on it. If I can get my whole class done with KeyTrain before second semester rolls around, then we can just be done with it. I would rather not spend every Friday on KeyTrain. I'd rather you guys advance those levels and get them done early. That way we can spend more time on the fun stuff and doing business related projects. So that's Newsela and KeyTrain. And again, that's in your syllabus. If your parents have questions, they can email me. The first thing that both my BMA and digital multimedia students are going to be doing is OSHA training. So this is something that I've purchased last year. It's my first time doing it. With the Taylor High School and with the academies, our Board of Education has really pushed certifications for you, and I want my students to come out of my class this year-long commitment with a lot of certifications. So the first course that I've purchased for you is this OSHA course. So again, this is required by the state of Michigan, but you guys are going to be actually certified, and you will get a card that says once you've completed your OSHA training that you are OSHA certified. So this is a 10-hour training that you're going to be working on the first 2 weeks of class, and Ms. Tyndall will give you the logins for everything that you will need for that. And this is a really good resume builder. For those of you that are already working in fast food, most likely they locked you somewhere those first couple days of training and you had to watch some OSHA videos. This could potentially get some of you out of that if you haven't entered the workforce yet, because you would already be OSHA certified. So this is something that's going to be really good to put on your resume. Yes, it takes a lot of time up front, but it's something that you'll have to do no matter what career field that you pick. And this again gets you that first certification in my class. Okay, so let's talk about some classroom rules in the class. This is all in the syllabus as well, and Ms. Tyndall has my permission to change or alter these at any time depending on the classroom behavior. Okay, so food and drink. When it comes to food and drink, I do not allow open containers or food at the computer workstations. So if you have a coffee cup with a lid that can close, or if you have a water bottle with a lid that can close, that can be allowed. But if you have a can of pop or a soft drink with just a lid like from Taco Bell where you could spill it and the straw would go all over the place and you could potentially ruin the computers, those are not allowed at your computer workstations. The only liquid or drink that's allowed at those workstations are a drink with a lid that can close. Food is not permitted near the computers. I've had too many instances where students, are eating something, they get it on their hands and then they get it on the keyboard or they drop crumbs in the keyboard, and that's just gross. So no food at the computer workstations. If you notice that I have a boardroom table in my classroom. For those of you that get breakfast in the morning, if you arrive early before class starts, you have every right to eat at that table, or if you had a snack, if you were coming into the PM session, you can eat, or if you have a can of pop, you can leave it at that boardroom table, and not, again, have it at your computer workstation. So please adhere to that rule. Breakfast is another one. Taylor School District this year gets breakfast for all of its students, breakfast and lunch. So I'm guessing that means a lot of you are going to be eating breakfast. The lines are going to be long, just warning you. So please, if you are getting dropped off by a parent, if you're a Taylor Prep student, arrive early enough to where you could get that breakfast and then bring it back to the classroom and eat it at the boardroom table. Or if you are getting a breakfast, please try to eat it, before you get to your computer workstation. I've had students before, if they came in a little bit late, they would grab their breakfast, they would put it at that computer workstation, they would get started with their work, and then they would take, a break or, a natural pause in their assignment and finish their breakfast. We're talking a couple minutes here, guys, not 5 or 10 or not, 15, 20 minutes to eat breakfast. So remember, we are here to learn. I do want you to eat breakfast though, but again, no food at the computer workstation. So you will have to either arrive early enough to get that breakfast and eat it before class starts, or again, get your work done early. That way you can go have your quick breakfast. Bathroom passes. So I have a dry erase board on the side of the room. One student out at a time. That student needs to write their name on the dry erase board, and when you come back, you take your name off the dry erase board. Please just make sure it's okay with Miss Tyndall if she is lecturing or if she is in the middle of rules or directions for an assignment. It is not an appropriate time to go to the bathroom. So use your best judgment. I like to treat my students like professionals and adults. So when it's appropriate to go to the bathroom, make sure it's okay, and then you sign out and then sign back in, or take your name off the dry erase board when you come back in for the bathroom. Okay, Miss Tyndall, let's talk about her. She is gracious enough to sub in my class for these 2 months, and we are in a unique situation because Miss Tyndall actually went to college to teach this type of class. So it's not like a regular substitute if a teacher's out on maternity leave. She has the degrees to teach this class. So luckily, I don't have to put in movies for you for these next 2 months. She's going to teach my actual curriculum. So whether I was there and in front of you, it's going to be the same content. The lesson plans are not changing. These are the same ones that I did last year, aside from the OSHA training, because that is new. So you are not missing out in any way by having a teacher on maternity leave. You are in good hands with Miss Tyndall. And again, you just take her lead for these next 2 months. If you have any specific questions for me, feel free to email. But the class is going to look pretty similar when I return. So thank you, Miss Tyndall, for taking over for these first couple months. Last but not least, let's talk about these Yonder cases. So the Yonder cases were something that I purchased for my classroom, and they are required. We are using these. So you might have heard through rumors last year, I did this with my students and it worked out really well, and I'd like to continue to use the Yonder cases again. So the procedures for the Yonder cases, if she hasn't taken the phones from you already, is the first, as soon as you walk into class, you come on in, you grab your Yonder case, you use that magnet to open up the case, you put your cell phone in, you lock it up, and then your cell phone is in the Yonder case for the remaining part of class. The last 10 minutes of class is when I allow students to unlock their Yonder cases. I'll say, okay, it's time to unlock, maybe go by islands, and you come up, unlock your case, and then at that time, you can do whatever you want with your cell phone. Once your cell phone gets unlocked, that last 10 minutes, you can go on Twitter or whatever it is that you guys do with those phones, as long as it's school appropriate. You can have those last 10 minutes for your electronic device. But other than that, those phones need to be locked up. That is in my syllabus, that is backed by the principal and the Board of Education. So we're using the Yonder cases. Now, I've told Miss Tyndall, and I have done this in the past, but not until second trimester. So I didn't start doing this last year until around December. So you guys are lucky. I've told her that if behavior is good all week, she has the right to give you Yonder case free Fridays. So while you are doing your Newsella and your key train, if behavior has been good, if it's been a good week, she doesn't have to lock the phones up in the Yonder case. So that is up to her again. So just an incentive to you to follow the rules, and then you will get rewarded by having your electronic device. Okay, so let's talk about content a little bit. So we have 2 classes that are going to be watching this video, so I have to remember that. We have the BMA class, Business Management and Administration, and we have the Digital Multimedia class. So with the new Taylor High School and with the career pathways that we're doing, I believe I am the belief pathway. If you have chosen this pathway, thank you. So certificates is a big thing, and they have always said, or our superintendent and assistant superintendent want you to leave with certificates. So I have done my best with trying to give you guys certificates when you leave my program. So my BMA students, Business Management and Administration, you have the opportunity to take the Microsoft Office certification test without having to take the computer apps class at the home school. So we're going to be using Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint in this class, and we don't spend a lot of time learning just the software because this is a business class. We learn business concepts, but we use Excel for a lot of the projects. We use PowerPoint, we use Word almost on a daily basis. So by the time my students are done with a year of this class, you've used Microsoft so much that most of my students are able to get the certification. On the yellow door near the front of the room, you can see the students that received the certification last year. Matt Radu received all of them. He became a specialist in Word, PowerPoint, and Excel on the first try. So this test is not impossible. Yes, it is hard. Just pay attention, use Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and Excel, and by the end of the year, hopefully I can get all of you guys certified. Now, for my BMA students, the second certification that I offer you is a virtual business certification. So around December, usually right before we go on break, we do a competition or a virtual business simulation where you are a manager of a warehouse. And once you complete the simulation, and not all of my students always complete the sim because it is difficult, but once you complete the sim, you do get certified in management. So you will have that certification to add to your career portfolios. Both BMA students and digital multimedia students, I should say, we make a career portfolio the last month of school, so around May, and it's in a nice binder. We'll have your resume, we'll have all of the things that we've done, examples of your work, and then we will have those certifications in that career portfolio as well. So if you're not looking to go right to college, if you're looking maybe to enter the workforce as, a business assistant or, an admin, you could take that career portfolio to an interview and hopefully get hired for that type of job. Okay, so that's BMA. Digital multimedia, you guys have a really unique opportunity this year to get certificates in Adobe. So we're going to be using Adobe. That's, in the course guide. So hopefully you knew that when you signed up for digital multimedia. So we focus on Photoshop, Dreamweaver, and you will get certified in those programs through a Linda course. Now there's other certifications that you can receive as well. It's going to be really up to you on how motivated you are and how many certificates you want to get. So I would like all of my digital multimedia students to receive Adobe certification, but then you can build on that. So if you are motivated, you could receive management certifications, you can receive Photoshop and advanced graphic design certificates. So with digital multimedia, the sky is really the limit because we have Linda. And if you've never heard of Linda before, it's a good time to Google that, digital multimedia students, in order to see what that opportunity is. Unfortunately, we can't start the Linda certifications until I return. So you guys are going to be working in Photoshop through a textbook, and then once I get back, we'll get into the Linda platform and use that as our textbook for the remainder of the year. So that is that. And then obviously you guys are both going to get OSHA certifications, and we'll add those again to the career portfolio in May. All right, so if you have any questions, you can email me or send me a message in Edmodo. Miss Tyndall is your teacher until I return on October 29th. I hope you all have a great start to the new school year. If any of this, if this is just information overload, or if you have any questions, again, please email me. I'm on maternity leave. I'm not physically in the classroom, but I am your teacher, so I want to make sure that we keep those lines of communication open. One more thing that I want to stress to all of you. This is a year-long class. Make sure when you're reading through that syllabus, these are things that you want to learn. If you discover when you're going through this syllabus that this is not what you are interested in, if you really wanted welding or if you really wanted construction or nursing, this is the time to speak up. With semesters, there's not as much wiggle room. If you don't like a class, you guys before, if you didn't like a class, you got to leave in November and start fresh. This is not the case with semesters. So I want to make sure that you're committed to this class. Make sure that when you read all of the things that we're going to be covering in the syllabus, it's something that you want to do, because again, this is a year-long commitment and it will hurt you if you decide in January that you don't want to do this class anymore. So please go home, review that syllabus tonight with your parents. If you decide to stay on, I'm excited. I have a lot to offer my students this year, a lot of certifications that you will get. I think the Belief pathway will be a smart choice no matter what career path that you go down, because you need business background and you need that digital multimedia background and that creative part no matter what industry that you decide to go in. So I don't think it's a bad choice by any means. Okay, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to turn it over to Miss Tyndall, and I believe you guys are going to go over the syllabus now. Thank you.